Hey y'all, welcome to Pink Shade. It's Mary Payne here, and if you can hear the sound of my voice, I'm actually in Denver. Hey! Pre-recording with Kimberly before my trip to Denver for the Podcast Movement Conference. So anything breaking news that's happened in the last few days, if we don't mention it, it's because we don't know, because we don't live in the future. Kimberly, how's it going? How's it going from the future?
It's going so good. I cannot believe the aliens came and pronounced Angela their queen. That was unforeseen.
Don't tell me that you're watching Last Resort.
I fast forwarded and skimmed through the episode last night. I did not know it was 2 hours. That was very disappointing to
Oh, I
have
didn't know that either.
saw that. I thought, please God, no. But my parents thought it was so good. They told me to watch it. And then I saw there was a pillow talk and I thought, perfect. I can only pillow talk Big Ed. I cannot actually watch Big Ed. So I thought this is perfect. But they only did a pillow talk that was like a preview for the season.
I saw
And
that. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I'm hoping there's still going to be a pillow talk, but I don't think there is because a lot of it is people crying and they don't pillow talk stuff like that a lot.
But all the people in Pillow Talk are like on this show. So it's
Exactly.
like, yeah. I'm not watching it. Obviously, Amy is going to be covering it. She says she's going to be hate rage covering it over on Little Miss Recap. And I let her at the end of the episode we did for Hey Bunky this past Friday. I let her have 5 minutes at the end to discuss it. So, yeah.
There's one word, thrush. And that's the word of the, well, it's like this episode is sponsored by the word thrush.
I've had thrush, and that's not the way you get it.
I didn't think so.
No.
Apparently that is one of many ways because I've seen lots of debates online.
Yeah.
It's one of many ways.
It's a, like infection in your throat.
Yeah, you can get it from like antibiotics or
that's how I got it.
Yeah. So
yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, that's what she told me about. And she told me that Kalani got a hall pass and took it and then started like a full blown texting thing with the guy. I was like, okay, so she didn't just bang a guy she met at the bar. She was like, no, she like kept up a kind of a texting relationship. I was like, okay, well, who's worse?
Good for her.
I mean, yeah, good for her. I don't know.
I'm not blaming her. He's treated her like garbage this whole time.
Agree.
From
Anyway,
not refusing to wear a condom so that she kept getting pregnant, even though they weren't financially stable. I mean, she had a part in that too, obviously, but like he's a giant baby. He went and broke COVID regulations all the time to go play like Top Gun volleyball.
Volleyball or Keith Raniere volleyball. We don't know.
Right.
I think there's somebody cutting down like a tree like right as I started to record this. So if you hear chainsaws, I apologize. I can't control the guy out there doing his yard work.
Yeah.
Well, there's nothing else going on. I don't think that I have to tell you about. If you're hearing this, this means that school has started. And that's something. And I won't know about it because I'll be in Denver. But
Mazel tov.
Thank you. Many, many times in my life, I've done first day of school alone with like little kids. Because my husband every single year, always had a work trip to like the Broadmoor in Colorado or something fancy every year he had on the opening weekend of school. So he would come back on like Monday night. And I always did it by myself. So he doesn't go on that trip anymore, or they've moved the start of school. I'm not sure. Either way, he'll be doing it alone with a senior in high school. So I think he's going to be fine.
Yeah, he's going to be fine. It's not payback.
It's really not the same as like a fifth and a seventh grader. Yeah, no. Or even a first and a third grader. It's pretty bad. So that's all that's happening. So I hope for everybody who's got their kids going back to school, I hope everybody is safe and you're getting back to that packing those lunches, which is, there's nothing worse than packing those lunches.
Those moms that do the Instagram worthy, like, and they make everything look like faces and like there's a theme to it. It's like a
good
showpiece. I don't.
Good for you.
I roll. No.
Good for you. I mean, listen, my daughter in preschool, when she was like 3-year-old preschool, she told me that what she wanted for lunch was the same thing she had for breakfast, which was those mini waffles So I would put them in the toaster, toast them, put a little butter on them, wrap them up in tin foil, and send her to school with the same thing she had for breakfast. I don't give a shit. It's like she
Yeah.
will eat it. That's something
Yeah.
she'll eat. Gave her some grapes or whatever, and she was happy as a clam. Then my in-laws came and watched the kids when Dave and I had to go on something for work. And so I told my mother-in-law, this is what you do is, toaster waffles, but she never heard of a toaster waffle. Like if it wasn't like a waffle she made from scratch,
Right.
she didn't understand about anything that wasn't made by your hands,
Mm-hmm.
that you sat up and let the dough rise all night and all that,
Mm-hmm.
me just popping in that toaster.
Mm-hmm.
And so she sent that to school for Anna, like not toasted. So it was like a frozen waffle. So Anna's like, I don't know what Gran packed me, but it wasn't the same as with the way you do it. So poor thing. She was like, she came home from school. She's so hungry. I was like, that's weird. Usually, no, but no. That's just a story that just popped in my mind
I love
just
it.
now. I love it too. We were so lucky to have grandparents to be able to watch him. I didn't care if she was hungry for a couple days. Oh, Lord. All right. Well, we can get into a 90-day, before the 90 days, season 6, episode 12, Field of Dreams.
Mm-hmm.
You think you know where in the episode this
I
came
think
from?
I do,
All right.
but
All
I'm
right.
not
Well,
sure if I'm right.
okay. Well, I just did a quick zip through and was like, the only thing I see is a field is Statler and Dempsey, but dreams I can't get. So
That's not bad, actually.
yeah. Yeah. What was it last week that made no sense? It was a St. Elmo's fire.
Yeah, no sense.
But that, you know what? You did later reference Elmo in discussing Tyree being like,
I did. You're right.
yeah. And
There
there
must,
was a fire.
yeah,
So
there must have been it.
we're going to start with Riley and Violet. And again, it's just such a roller coaster with these two.
I know.
Yeah.
I still don't know what to think. Don't think he's a monster like everyone else does, but
I agree, but I think they're both kind of equally awful.
yeah. So he's going to meet Violet and is bringing a huge thing of flowers. And he tells the maitre d', I'm here to meet my friend. And I thought for a brief moment he was meeting his new friend, the motorcycle tour guide. And I was
yeah.
really excited for this buddy rom-com thing where they'd be like, big black guy, small Vietnamese man on a motorcycle solving crimes.
Yes, but it's only funny if Riley's on the back.
No, it has to be. It has
Yeah, because it's just so like twins with
Mhm.
Schwarzenegger and DeVito, right? Yeah.
Or if he was in some sort of sidecar.
Yeah, it's like the Tom. Yeah. Yeah.
So he had unblocked Violet and asked her to meet, and she unblocked him too. I feel like the production probably said, you need to unblock them now.
We're recording a show and we're in Vietnam. You
Yeah.
will unblock each other.
Yeah.
Yes.
So she comes in, he gives her the flowers, and like, this is my apology to you, this beautiful thing of flowers. And she says, no, I can't forgive what you did to me. Just no,
She's real blunt.
no thank you whatsoever. She doesn't do the fake like, oh, they're beautiful. Nothing. No, I cannot forgive you.
Nope.
So he says, listen, I've done my research. I talked to my new best friend, the tour guide. I understand that a friend does not have the right to ask the questions that Tiffany asked you, even though I consider family that's not the same and it was inappropriate. I understand that now. And she says, she talked to me like a criminal. You didn't protect me. You trampled all over me. And I'm so disappointed. And he says, he's being very sincere to me, at least.
I think so. Yeah.
I am so sorry. I should have protected you. I didn't. I apologize. And she says, I receive your apology, but your sincerity is not enough.
He's never going to win here.
He needs to cut open his veins and bleed.
Yeah, it's just not.
Like, it's not enough.
Yeah.
So he's kind of holding in his anger at this point and like, okay, not enough. I practiced that in the mirror. I thought it was pretty good. So let me just I don't want to start a fight. I'm just wondering, just so I know the way this conversation's going, was everything my fault? I just want, again, that's fine if that's what it was. I just want to know, is that what you believe? That nothing was your fault here? Like, he's being very nice, kind of, and she's like, yes, all your fault. And he's like, okay. So now I know. How do we move forward from this? Because you refuse to answer my questions. And when you do that, I feel hurt and like you're hiding something. I'm not saying you are. I'm not saying that you are hiding anything, but that's just how I feel. And I'm willing to answer any of your questions. I'm an open book. So where do we go from here? And she says, you know what? My English is not good enough for me to answer your questions. And I was like, finally, that's what I've been saying, that it's not really an even playing field, that she has to explain herself in not her native language.
Yeah. Okay.
So
I got it.
she says, if you could translate the questions or something. And he's like, great. Okay, we're making progress. I'm fine to do that. If there's a complicated question, I will translate it. That's great. I feel better now. And she says, bottom line, I just want a man who will care for me and protect me. And he says, that's fair. You deserve that. That's not asking for too much.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And he says, I'm here for 4 more days. I promise I will earn your respect back and I will protect you. And it's very sweet. But then they cut to his interview and he says, I'm not sure I believe she can't answer my questions in English. That sounds like an excuse to me. I was like, really?
I
Um,
I I think that she can answer the questions, but when it's when the speaking is going so fast and you're trying to translate in your brain and then translate back
yeah.
your answer, I think probably if it's a serious conversation, that is rough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they should get a translator.
Yeah.
I know of a girl named Amy who is great, and she could come in. I know she's not in the same country,
I was about to
but
say, I think that's the Philippines.
yeah, it definitely is. But she's great. I really do believe she speaks multiple languages.
She probably does. I
So
think she said she speaks 5 languages or
yeah,
something. Yeah.
so and she's unobtrusive. She'll
Yes,
take a
bless her.
family picture of you on vacation and be like part of the family, but not part of the family, kind of like a nanny. Like she's there, but she's not too invasive. Um,
Very nice,
Yeah,
Amy.
she's earning her money's worth.
Yeah.
So he says, "Okay, I'm giving Violet the benefit of the doubt because I totally could have handled the Tiffany thing better, and that's on me. So I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt." And he's going to take Gino and Jasmine's therapist's advice and put the questions aside and just enjoy the time that they have together.
Mhm.
So the next day, they go to the temple, and he's wearing the garment that she had specially made for him when she was calling him fat and ugly and
Yeah. Old.
old.
Old. Yeah.
And she loves the way he looks in it now. He's not so fat and ugly and old right now. She thinks he's
She's very
like
excited about it. They hold
very
hands.
dapper.
Yeah.
Yeah, they hold hands. Yeah, she's into it. So they go to this Buddhist temple. She's not a Buddhist, but she likes Buddhism's emphasis on respect and love, which
Mhm.
is that's how I would describe Violet, full of respect and love. So they pray in front of this Buddhist statue, and she's hoping it'll give them peace. And it does. He is loving it, and he feels peaceful there. It's a beautiful temple. And
Yeah.
she asks what he prayed for, and he says, am I allowed to tell you? Like it's a birthday wish. And he was blowing out the candles.
It
And
was
he
like
says,
in confession, it's a
yeah,
secret
exactly.
or yeah.
Yeah. Are you not supposed to tell the priest or other people what you confess to a priest? Can't
I
you
don't know.
can if you want to, right?
I guess you could if you want
It's
to.
your
If you're
secret. I mean, he's not supposed to tell.
yeah, I don't know. I'm not Buddhist or Catholic. I
Yeah,
don't know.
nor I. So he prayed to not hurt anyone with his words and actions, which is very
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
And she said, I prayed for my family and for our relationship. And
Okay.
so they are walking around hand in hand. They make a donation and get their names on this piece of paper on the wall.
Yeah.
And they're really being very nice to each other. It's all going great, except there's an
Mm.
issue that she's been waiting to tell him about, which I was shocked because it is already episode, what, 12? Usually
12. Yeah.
these are at the very beginning of the season. There's something I haven't told him. I once
That's
killed
right.
an unhoused person. Yeah.
No. That's
There's something
that's
I haven't told him. My parents know nothing about his existence. There's something I haven't told him.
yeah, we just got that on 90 Day the Other Way where Wayne is like, "Well, there's something I haven't told her. I've invested $40,000 in crypto, so I'm
Oh
broke."
god, the South
Yeah.
African guy. Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw that.
Sex trafficking, my boy.
Yeah.
They'll kill you right in the streets, my boy. Yeah.
Oh my god. So it's all going great. She's gonna tell him this thing. They go to fly a kite in this big fun kite flying area of Ho Chi Minh City. It looks very fun. He's
Cool.
never flown a kite before. He's very excited, like a 6'6" little kid. like a
Yeah.
Quaalude. He's just
Yeah.
very excited. And then she ruins it. So they're literally flying the kite. The kite is in his hands. And she says, "You know, when I come to America, I won't be able to work. And you said you'd support me and my daughters. So I need to know how much money you have in your bank account." Which
Yeah.
again, may be a cultural difference, that sort of bluntness, and Americans really don't like to talk about money. But
Yeah.
he literally has the kite in his hand.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
Let's
that,
go fly a kite and talk about finances.
I think that's, I think it's a cultural difference, but also she has been worried to ask him this. Is she worried because she wasn't going to like the answer or because she knew it was too blunt or whatever? I wonder.
I don't think she cares about being too blunt.
Yeah.
It must have been, but I think there's more that she hasn't told him. I don't
Oh,
know.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
So he says he actually thinks about it, and I did not think he was going to answer. I mean, I've never seen an American be open about their finances.
Yeah.
We just really, it's like a huge hang up Americans have.
Yeah.
So he says close to $100,000 in savings and investments and things. And he says, "How does that make you feel? Does that make you feel secure in giving up your career and coming to America?" I forgot what
Hmm.
she does.
She's a teacher.
That's right. She's the
Hmm.
teacher. So he says, "How does that make you feel? Does that make you feel more secure?" And she says, "Well, I don't really know how much money that is in America." And he says, "Honestly, it's not that much money in America, but I make broke look good. And I live very simply. And we can definitely make it work. And we will all have enough." That's great. But she doesn't like to live simply, I don't think. So,
No, I
and
think
her
she,
daughters don't like to, they love clothes and stuff. So
yeah.
I don't think they're going to love to live simply.
Right.
Is she thinking they're all gonna get visas? Her and her daughters?
Yeah. Or she's going to come first and then get them a year later. Like, I don't know what her plan is,
Did
but
Hazel ever get her son to America?
that I don't know. I don't know. That was the Philippines. I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't know. Maybe she's like, if the three of us can't come, then I'm not coming, you know?
Yeah, I don't know.
She seems pretty close with her kids, so I don't
Yeah.
know.
So he says, "I'm really surprised by the question, but I had promised that I would be an open book. And I'm hoping that by me being an open book, she will maybe answer more questions." And
Mhm.
he said, "I know I said no questions and we're just going to fly kites and have fun. But there is one thing that is bothering me. And can I ask you just one question?" He's so scared. "Can I, one question, please? One question." And she says,
Mhm.
"Okay." And he says, "You texted my father when we were having that fight and you said very bad things about me." And she
Mhm.
says, "Don't talk about the past. We're not talking about it." And he says, it's we're getting along and it's not talking about the past. I just like, I need to move forward. I need to know, just, do you regret it? Like, do you think maybe next time we should work it out on our own and not bring in my dad and
Mhm.
vent about our relationship? Do you regret it?" And she says, "I don't see how it's my fault." And he says, "No, I'm not saying it's your fault. I just need to know if you regret it. That's all I want to hear, is that you regret it." And she says, "No, no,
Mm-mm.
just no." And she says, she tells us, "I was very mad and I only told his dad the truth about his son."
Yeah, she says, "I don't regret it because what I said was true. He
Right.
is a loser that doesn't deserve love."
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Wow. So he says, and she says, "It makes me mad that he won't let it go." And I'm like, he won't let it go because he won't just apologize. All he wants is a
Yeah.
sorry, and he will drop this whole thing. But how can he let it go if you won't admit you did something wrong?
Yeah, he's not even saying, "I need you to apologize to me for that." He's saying, "I just want to know you regret it." She doesn't even have to say, "I'm sorry." She can
Right.
just say, "Yeah, I regret it." He's
Yeah.
just trying to get something out of her.
Something to know that she won't do this again, maybe.
I don't know. She will do it again if
She
she gets
will do it
mad, so
again.
we know that, yeah.
Yeah, and she gets mad at him. She says, "I'm calling you King Kill Feelings because you always kill my feelings. Like, we're flying a kite and having fun, and I asked you about finances, and it was great, and then you had to bring up the past again." And he's like, "Great." And he's like kind of seething right now, but he's
Kinda.
trying to like still be this positive person, but he's like, "Where do we go from here? How can I go move past this if you can't even say I regret bringing my elderly father who was sick into our relationship and telling him his son was a horrible person and not a man and doesn't believe, doesn't
Right.
deserve love.
Right. She's like, I don't regret it. What I said was true. Move on.
Yeah, sorry, not sorry, except she's not sorry.
She's definitely just not sorry, not sorry.
No, she's never admitted to fault. That's, I think, her biggest fault.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, I think these two are just not a match. And I think that they had a nice, he had a nice vacation there in Vietnam and now he needs
Mhm.
to go back home.
He
Yeah.
made a new friend in the tour guide and
Right.
move on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's move on to Jasmine and Gino. I will tell you that I was sitting in the Wendy's drive-thru, picking up my food, as it were, and I was listening to the podcast that we did last week, just laughing and laughing.
Do you listen to the podcast?
Yeah, I was listening. I was laughing. I was laughing about the part about cousin Dana and, oh, where are you there? What part of Panama? Are you the southern Panama? No, Dana, I'm in western Panama.
That made me laugh.
And I was like, why does she hang her purse on that tree? You're like, why does she take it jogging?
Why does she have a fanny pack in this episode? So we know she has access to a fanny pack.
Right.
But she
And
still goes
pockets.
jogging with a purse.
Yeah, it's hilarious. So, all right, we open with Gino trimming Jasmine's nose hairs. And then she trims his nose hairs.
love
And that's just romantic.
It
It
is
shows
it's about
trust.
trust. It's
Mhm.
like monkeys grooming each other. I think it's
Okay.
very
Yes.
sweet. It takes a lot of trust to stick anyone to have anyone stick any thing in any of your orifices. And she loves to stick things in orifices.
She does.
We don't
She
know
does.
what happened with the butt plugs, but we know what's happening
Where are they?
the trimmer. So
We do know that this season ends on October 1st. That includes the reunions. So we
Really?
yeah, so we only have through September. So where are the butt plugs? We need to know.
Interesting. Time's ticking on the butt plugs.
So I'm sickened. Has she started with the small one? Has she moved up to the big one? What's happened?
It was a progression. Yeah.
Okay. So they say the biggest breakthrough.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I have to say one more thing.
Okay.
Because she's breathing so much better. I feel like if you have enough nose hair that it is impacting your breathing,
You should see a doctor.
you need to see a doctor.
Yeah, I agree. So they say that they've had a great day the last couple days, and they're like the biggest breakthrough was that Jasmine took accountability for her actions and kind of owned up to her anger. So that's been really great. So then she's looking through a suitcase and she's like, "Oh, look, baby, look what I found! Your blue pills, your secret stash." And he's like, "Stop! Oh, crazy!" And then they're in a talking head together, and she says, "Listen, Gino is able to reach climax each time he's been here on this trip, and this means a lot to me." And he's like, "Yeah, the relationship outside the bedroom impacts the relationship in the bedroom. And so I think everything's getting better." I was like, this is just like TMI.
Well, there
TMI.
was no PP or feces
Well, true.
that we know about. So
That's the
there's
bar.
no ball gag. The bar has been set so high.
Or so low. I don't know.
Yeah.
So now they're going for a walk. And this is when she's got on her fanny pack. And she has dug into sister/daughter Liz's drawer and pulled out every colored clip she could find.
Yeah.
What is this hairstyle?
There's a girl that's on Traders Australia that's wearing the little baby doll clips.
All
two
over?
little ponytails, just two. The pink ones. Like she walked out of a Claire's in the 90s.
Right.
That's really in right now.
All the way down the hair like that?
I mean, I liked the colors. I like bright colors. Jasmine does not shy away from color. It's a lot. I just don't understand what's going on with her hair this season. It just seems very unruly and hot for the Panama heat, and it's being affected by the frizz. I understand it. I understand it. He hasn't brought those extensions. So
those are her extensions.
Yeah.
That she said cost $10,000 or whatever. If you look on her current Instagram, she does have short hair.
Right.
It's all the extensions are out. And she says, I do believe she tried to say she had like alopecia or something, but I think she had the wrong word because she does not. She has all of her hair and everything.
Yeah.
She just has thinning hair.
Oh, okay.
She needs Nutrafol.
She needs-
Not an ad. but I have been taking Nutrafol. So, anyway, as they're walking along, he says, "So, do you think you're pregnant? You look pregnant," and like pats her in the uh, fanny pack, and she's like, "Why are you trying to say I'm fat, Gino?" And he goes, "No," and he goes, "Well, we're not using protection, and she does have 2 sons already," which was interesting because I thought she had a boy and a girl, but I guess she has 2 sons,
I still think she has a sister-daughter.
and possibly a sister-daughter. So she says they're talking about birth control. She was taking birth control, but not anymore. And now he thinks we're both ready now, right? Because
Been
after
getting
3 days,
along. Yeah,
they get along for 3 days. That means they're ready.
totally right.
It's,
They had one therapy session.
a baby fixes all problems.
Mhm.
So he tells her, yeah, I mean, with the way things are going and your visa's so close, you could just have the baby in the United States because it's going to be approved any day now. And she goes, Gino, so I like the idea of having a baby, but in reality, I'm not sure. I've had kids already, and they do put a lot of pressure on your relationship. Okay,
And
where are the children?
I don't even watch my children most of the time. And I
I
can tell you
mean,
they're a lot of work
they're
for
a lot
all
of
the
work.
other people that watch them for me.
According to their dad and my mother,
Yeah,
they are
they're
a
so much
handful.
work.
So he's like, I'm confused because you have told me that you do want to have a baby. And she says, but Gino, at this moment in our relationship, would we be good? Would we be good parents? We are getting old. And don't you want to retire? Retire. He's 53. We're getting old. He's never had a kid. He's told you he wants to have at least one kid with you. And she says, we're getting old. Don't you want to retire? Kids are chaotic. And my kids aren't babies anymore, but I get a lot of support from my family. And I just wonder, could I handle a kid on my own in the United States? Well, girl, you're not handling the 2 that you got.
No. Also, you think you're not chaotic just on your own?
How hard
The
is it?
kids are chaotic?
God. And he says, well, Jasmine, we could handle one kid. My family's around. They could help.
Uncle
And she
Marco
said,
can babysit.
Uncle Marco's there. What about Cousin Dana?
Mm-hmm.
And she says, it's going to be very difficult to move to Michigan and bring my kids. Okay, well, that's brand new
Wait,
information. We did,
bring the 2?
I guess. She
Okay.
said, bring the kids.
The ones that she's living in a high-rise apartment with Dane to avoid.
Yeah, right. Those kids don't live there. So she said, it's going to be difficult to move to Michigan and bring my kids. And even thinking about having a baby is difficult. And I do think Gino deserves to have a kid, but I'm not prepared to say I want to have a kid with Gino. I said, well, this is the first mention of her other kids we've had in a long time, much
Yeah.
less that they're planning to move to Michigan.
Yeah. I'm surprised by all of this.
So she says, Gino.
Also, did she just get her vag fixed or not? Is that the real issue?
Yeah. Maybe that's why he's having so much success.
Oh.
Oh. Ugh. So she says, Gino, would you stay with me and be happy if I don't want a baby? And he just stares at her and he goes, well, you've told me that you want a child, and I've told you I want a child, and we've agreed on this. So why would you tell me this now? And then she says, well, Gino, you weren't able to ejaculate before, and now all of a sudden you can.
I wasn't prepared for the thing I kept pushing you to do.
And now you're doing it.
Do it.
And she goes, and also I was afraid that you would leave me if I expressed this concern.
Yeah, so that's fair. That's what every couple on the show does. I'm scared you're going to leave me, so I'm not going to tell you until you drop everything and fly to my country or whatever. And
Right.
then you've now wasted all these years of your life because I was too scared to tell you the truth. Is she just going to keep sneaking birth control until menopause?
I guess so.
What's the end game here?
I don't know. And then she's going to go to a fertility doctor and be like, I don't know why I can't be pregnant. Popping those pills. So he says, well, Jasmine, you could have talked to me. I thought we were on the same page. And then talking to Ed, he goes, Jasmine is the love of my life, but I don't know if my life will be complete without a child. I've always wanted to be a dad. And I guess I just hope once she comes to the United States, she'll change her mind.
That never happens. No.
Never happens.
No.
Nope. So
I think you have to choose here, Gino. Do you want an insane life with BDSM sex with crazy Jasmine and chaotic fights, or do you want to find some like nice girl that will give you a baby?
I don't know.
I think
It
he
just
likes the
seems like
drama too much.
he just likes how hot she is. I mean, let's be honest. The stuff she posts on Instagram, I just can't get over the body. I mean, I just won't even say
The
anything more, but I
proportion.
just can't get over it. I just
Yeah.
can't get over it. So she's definitely, if we're seeing these live pictures from Michigan that she's tagging in Panama City,
Yeah.
um, she's
She's not
definitely
going to
not
do all
pregnant.
this work and then get pregnant. Exactly.
Yeah. She's gonna be like, Don't you have a cousin or something could carry the baby for us, Gino? I'm so
Yeah.
tired."
Yeah. Does Angela still have that one egg left?
All right, let's move on to David and Sheila.
So they are in a car, and by they I mean Sheila and David and her son John Rill,
Mhm.
and they're all in the back seat, and then their thruple, the translator Amy, is in the front seat. I
Yeah.
really wish the thruple was in the hero shot. I think that would complete it, and it
Wouldn't
made
it be
me
it would be so funny if, like, they came together and kissed,
yeah.
and then when they pulled apart, she popped up from the middle, was like, "Hi."
I would love that. Also, we need a throuple on the show. Like, they're really trying to broaden, like, their horizons of different types of couples. We still haven't gotten a throuple. That's
Well, we've had seeking sister husband, and we have seeking sister wife, and that's all we need.
yeah, maybe they don't need to come on to 90 Day. So, we had Valentine and what's his face? Carlos. They were trying to be in a throuple. And there was another
No.
those two women, um, in they were
Yes.
trying to have a throuple with that American guy.
But that was like the Caribbean Love or whatever.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
Love in
yeah.
Paradise. So David is making little humming noises in the car, and the
Mhm.
translator asked Sheila, "Did you ever ask him why he makes those noises?" And she said, "I did once when we were on the phone, but he didn't know what I was talking about." And they laugh. And the producer asked David about it, and he says they call it like a grunting noise.
Uh-huh.
And he says, "I'm not aware of it. I think I do it when I'm trying to get someone's attention. I can feel like I'm making a sound." But that's different because he does it when he's talking, like when he's signing, and he does it when he's being quiet too. It's like a heavy breathing noise. But I always thought it was weird to bring it up, like rude. So
I thought it was a little rude too, but the producer did ask him in a nice way, and I thought what he said was, "When I'm yelling or upset while
yeah,
he's signing,
and
he may feel his body that he's making a noise, but just sitting there looking out the window, he's not aware of it."
no, he's totally not aware of it. So they are talking to her son, taking her son to the beach so they can all bond. She still has some concerns about David financially supporting them, but she still wants to make this work. And the son is very shy, and so is David too. I would be
Yeah.
so uncomfortable. This is my nightmare. I hate the awkward silences.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
just all sitting there. And David says, "I really need to bond with the son because I want to propose to Sheila and I want to be a good father." So he asked the translator, "What kind of sports does he like?" And then that's it. They're like, and he answers, and then they say, "Do you have any other questions for him?" And David just says, "No,
No, I
that's
got I got I got basketball and volleyball, that's all I need to
that's
know.
that's
Yeah.
all." And then and I was so stressed. I was like sweating from the awkward silences. But then David saves it and he starts to play the like hand slapping game where you have your
Yeah.
hands underneath and they're doing it over Sheila's lap with the son and the son is laughing and they're really having fun. And David says, "I remembered I couldn't communicate with my dad, but we could still bond by playing around." And he's like thumb wrestling with her son.
Yeah.
It kind of breaks my heart that his dad, I guess, did not learn any sign language,
I
and
I still
David
can't
was not taught to read
get it.
lips.
I can't get
So,
over it. I can't get over the fact that I understand why his parents sent him to the boarding school, and it seems like it was total life changing for him, and it was a wonderful experience. But that then they didn't never take the time to learn sign language so that
I
they
know
could
it's hard, but
communicate.
to not be able to communicate with your child, that's
Yeah,
heartbreaking.
it is.
So, they go to the beach and they do the silence thing when David gets there,
Mhm,
and,
I noticed right away.
right
Mhm.
away. And then David starts splashing Jean-Rel, and it's very cute in the water. And this Jean-Rel says he was nervous at first, but now he's fine, and he would like to learn sign language so they can communicate. It's so cute.
Sweet. It's very
And they're
sweet.
like skipping rocks. But the thing about skipping rocks is you're not supposed to do it when there are people in the water.
I was thinking that too. I was like, what if you just like hit somebody in the back of the leg? They'd be like, ah, shark. I mean, like, yeah.
They're fully throwing in the direction of people.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they pose for a picture that Amy, the translator, takes, and it's so cute. It's such a cute family photo. And they go to dinner. They all had fun. Sheila, interestingly, in front of her son, says his dad left and he doesn't talk to him anymore and is not really in his life. And I thought that was interesting that she does it in front of the son. It might make him feel bad. I don't know.
Yeah, I would think, yeah. But I mean, I guess he's there. They got to have these
He's
conversations. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sure he knows that that's the situation with the father. And so she asks David, "Are you willing to be like a second father?" And David
Mhm.
says, "Yes, I am. I want him to know he's not alone. He completes our family." And Genre is like grinning. It's so cute.
Yeah.
So precious. And David says he's always wanted to be a dad. And that's where I got Field of Dreams. Because Field of
Okay.
Dreams is a father-son story at its heart.
Okay.
And that's all I got.
Trying
I
to.
sense that you were hoping for more of a
I
Field of
was. I
Dreams.
was hoping for a lot more because, truthfully, I saw Field of Dreams one time in the theater whenever it came out, and
Yeah.
so I do understand that Kevin Costner is, instead of making some land into like a cornfield, he builds um a baseball diamond for some ghosts.
Yes,
One of which
ghost
is Ray Liotta.
baseball players. Yeah, but it's so his dad will or his dad tells him to do it, or it's so he can reconnect with his dad, and he has a son too, I think. I only
But
saw
is his
it once
dad
too.
dead?
Yeah, I believe so. And, like, I think they
Okay.
share a ghost moment or something. Again, yeah, I only saw it once. But I think father-son, and then he did ask Genre, "Do you play any sports?"
He did say basketball and volleyball, not baseball, but
Not
okay. All
baseball,
right.
but this is
All
all I
right.
got, people. If so it's either that or Statler and Dempsey in the field.
Yeah, which they weren't even in the field this week, so that's not it.
No, I got nothing.
All right, well, this is it then. This is our connection, Field of Dreams. Continue.
So he asked Genre, "Do you want to move to America?" And he says no, because he's a little boy and he will miss
Right.
his family and his friends and everything that he has there. And David says, "You can have a lot of fun there. There's a lot of really fun activities to do in America. And will go to a really good school in Omaha and learn English, and you can play sports there." And David says he totally understands the boy's fear because he was sent away to boarding school and he was terrified about starting over too.
Yeah.
So he hopes that John Roll will be brave like he had to be and
Yeah.
embrace America. And
Yeah.
Sheila says, "So when we come, do you have an extra room in your place?" And he says, "No. Remember, I'm poor, and I will have to find a new place for us." And Sheila says, "Oh, you're renting an apartment, and there's lots of expenses with that. It seems like it's really expensive." And so she's gone from thinking he's like Donald Trump rich or
Mhm.
fake rich, whatever, to like thinking that he is now destitute on the streets. Like somewhere in like the lower. I mean, I'm sure he's in the lower class, upper lower class. I mean, he has food, he has running
Right.
water,
I'm
he
sure
has
he makes minimum wage at 2
minimum
jobs.
wage at 2 jobs, yeah. I don't know
Yeah.
what the expenses are like in Omaha. I would not think they're that high
Right.
if
Right.
he's
Yeah. I
lived
think
a
he
frugal
probably
lifestyle.
I think he probably has a pretty simple lifestyle. And probably it will be a strain for him to get a two-bedroom apartment instead of a one-bedroom or
Yeah.
whatever, you know? But I think that if they stayed in the one-bedroom apartment and, like, they let John Real have the bedroom and they
Mhm.
slept on the couch,
Yeah, for a
which,
little
I
bit at
mean,
least.
that's what Billie Eilish's parents did, um, then it would still be 4,000 times better from where she came from.
Absolute she has no
So
walls.
they would be, if they could fix up the place for dad to stay
Yeah,
there and then they can come to the I mean, yeah. It's rough. It's rough because for her to ask that, you have to wonder what's in her mind. Like, has he not FaceTimed and said, "Here's my kitchen,
right,
here's my
right.
living area, here's my bedroom," or if maybe he really does live like in a studio, and she
Yeah,
didn't like, would there be a separate room for the kid? Like, we
right.
don't know. Yeah.
So he says, you know don't worry that it is expensive there, but that's my responsibility to pay for things. And if we get married, it's my responsibility to take care of you. And I don't want you to worry about it. He says to us, though, he does feel a lot of pressure to not let them down and to take care of them.
Yeah,
And
of course.
Sheila makes him promise to not hurt them, and he crosses his heart and says he loves her. It's very cute.
It's very sweet, and I feel like if she can just work a little bit on her sign language, I
Yeah.
think it's and then John Reel will just pick it up as he goes because that's
Yeah,
how
he's a
kids are.
kid. Yeah.
So I think it's gonna be fine.
I really
Fingers
feel like
crossed.
it needs to be fine, Mary Payne.
Okay, yeah, that's how I feel. It
After
needs
the
to be
poor
fine.
mother passed away, we need this.
Did you see that he posted something like, "People keep asking me about a GoFundMe for Sheila's family, and I can't set it up because of the taxes." It's something about he wouldn't be able to pay the taxes on it, and people were writing under it trying to help him figure out how to do the tax for her to get the money. It's something about taxes. So if somebody knows how to help David, can you reach out to him on Instagram?
Couldn't he just make more than he needed to pay for the taxes? Or is that shady?
I don't know how it works with a GoFundMe. I have no idea. I've donated to many, but I don't know how it works. I just assumed that the money I gave goes to that person, or at least the percentage that GoFundMe takes or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, I want to do this for Sheila, and I appreciate everybody wanting to donate to her family, but I can't do it because of the taxes.
He needs to ask Harold how Harold did it.
Exactly. Ah, you're so smart. All right, let's go to Christian and Cleo. So it's the next morning after the thing with June, the friend that was there sitting in the hallway. And she's getting up from the bed. She's putting on her makeup and getting ready. And she tells us that, the actions of last night do make me want to keep my guard up with Christian. But she tells him, well, today we're meeting with my friend Evelina to get a couples chart reading. And he goes, oh my God, ugh. He goes, okay. Is this like, ooh, she's got a crystal ball? She goes, no, but that would be so cool if I could read a crystal ball.
Yeah.
And he laughs and goes, never mind. She says, what? He goes, I was going to say a bad joke. I'm not going to say it. She goes, just say it. And he goes, well, could you look in the crystal ball and say, is she going to fly off the handle without giving me a chance to explain?
Oh, God.
It's like,
Next time he
oh,
says, I was going to say something and then doesn't say it, don't push him to say it.
again, no blame taken on himself at all.
Yeah.
Just that she's just crazy lady that just says
Mhm.
these things.
Mhm.
So they arrive with Evelina, the astrologer lady, and they're looking at the relationship chart. And she says, this relationship chart is based off the natal chart of both people to see if you will get on or if there will be any conflict. And she says, it does seem that you have connected on a subconscious level and you're not sure why, that you're so pulled to each other. And they both say yes. And she says, and you both seem to value communication, but maybe Christian lacks tact and sensitivity and empathy.
Mhm.
Oh, does that mean he's a psychopath?
Mhm.
Because that's what a psychopath is. And Cleo said that earlier.
Mhm.
Tact, sensitivity, and empathy.
Yeah.
Okay. And she goes, yeah, she goes, maybe he's that way. And also I'm a water moon, which means I'm sensitive. And the lady's like, who's the astrologer here? Pipe down. Pipe down. So he says, well, sometimes you can have fights or even see each other as the enemy. So you'll have to work really hard on that. And he goes, wow. He goes, this is kind of blowing my mind. And it's kind of freaky because I have kind of felt that from her a little bit. And I do want to think of her as a partner and companion, meaning like they're not as the enemy. And see, Cleo says, does this mean we could be a toxic couple?
Oh my gosh.
And
Cleo,
then
honey.
he goes, wow. He goes, this is getting a little spooky. This is sort of like hitting me a little bit, like what she's
Oh my
saying.
gosh, you were so judgmental, Christian,
I,
before. And now you're just buying into. You know why? Because he's a narcissist and they're talking about him. And he's
yes.
like, even if it's bad stuff, he's like, I'm the center of attention. I love it.
And also he's like, okay, so this is my way out. I'm going to say the
Mhm.
astrologer said it.
Mhm.
Looking to budget your food expenses for the back to school season? Get more bang for your bite with America's best value meal kit, Every Plate. Every Plate is 25% cheaper than grocery shopping. That's right, no hidden fees. You can count on great value week after week, plus only pay for what you need with the pre-portioned ingredients. You guys know how much I hate cleaning the kitchen, and it's so amazing when Every Plate shows up and they give me exactly what I need, nothing extra. So when dinner is over, I can actually sit down and watch my programs, okay? They also have this thing called dinner to lunch dishes, which is cook once, eat twice. These are tasty feeling meals for dinner and lunch the next day. Each recipe is carefully crafted to ensure the ingredients can be easily repurposed so you don't feel like you're just eating leftovers. Plus, save time making lunches on busy weekdays. There's nothing I hate more than making lunch on a busy weekday. I'm not even kidding. If I have to go downstairs and make lunch, sometimes I just don't do it. So with Every Plate, you can save time making lunch on busy weekdays and do most of the work the night before. So try new favorites such as sweet soy chicken tacos. Oh my gosh, guys, I've had that. Delish. Chicken stir fry. So you make the chicken tacos at night, and then the next day you have chicken stir fry. You guys, it's genius. They have another one, chicken sausage flatbreads, which my husband loves, plus tomato pasta for the next day. And there's more. And there's just a slight upcharge, and this is for a limited time only, but definitely take advantage of that. So make the sustainable choice this August. Every Plate offsets 100% of their delivery emissions, and their meals have 31% lower carbon footprint than the average supermarket meals of the same portion. And all of the material, well, nearly all of them packaging materials are curbside recyclable in most areas in the US. You have to check your area, but we put all of ours in the recycling, and it makes you also feel good about that. All right. So get $1.49 per meal by going to everyplate.com/podcast and entering code 49pinkshade. Get started with Every Plate for just $1.49 per meal by going to everyplate.com/podcast and entering code 49pinkshade. Okay, you got that? Everyplate.com/podcast and enter code 49pinkshade. That's up to $110 value. So then he says, all right, this is getting spooky. Like it's hitting me a little bit like, and what's the prognosis? Will it last? And the astrologer says, well, these are lessons and you're going to have to work on these things together, but it might mean you don't stay together. And Cleo acts like somebody killed her cat. She just starts
Mm-hmm.
bawling, crying, bawling.
Mm-hmm.
And then outside, the producer's talking to her, and she's still crying. And she's like, ever since he came here to visit me, there's been problems. And I'm just really not ready to deal with it if it's not going to work out. She's just bawling.
It hasn't been working out though. Like, have you really enjoyed any of this time that you've spent together? Sincerely, can you say that you've actually had fun? No,
Right. They
it
did
was
have
great
that,
before he came.
yeah, they had that one sexy times. And then
Mm-hmm.
they played with the VR. So those two things were fun.
Yeah, I
But
guess. Yeah,
that's it.
yeah. I mean, she needs to realize she's so much. She's so much better off.
Yeah.
This,
Yeah.
I feel bad.
So let's move on to Statler and Dempsey.
Oh my gosh! Thank you to the listener of yours who gave me the mnemonic device. Statler is from the States. I don't know if it's going to
Yes.
help me, but I'm going to try.
Yes. Yes. Very
So
good.
thank you. So Statler has, and by the way, every time I write Statler, it autocorrects to Stabler. So I have to, and I don't fix it. So in my head, I have to also not just Statler and Dempsey, but Benson and Stabler. I have to figure it
Then
out.
you've got to contend with that in your brain.
Exactly.
When
So
I do 90 Day the other way, and it's TJ and Kimberly, but his brother's name is Yashi,
yeah,
Yashi, and so I'll write Yash or Yashi. My autocorrect changes it to like washing or
uh-huh,
Josh.
yeah,
And so then I'm reading, I'm like, and then they wash. Nope,
uh-huh,
nobody washed.
yep.
Shoot. And I have to,
Mhm.
same thing. So if you're doing Statler Dempsey, you're trying to think states, but you've also got Benson and Stabler.
Yeah,
Yeah, you got real problems.
I do. Thank you for recognizing that. That makes me
Yeah.
feel validated.
Yeah.
So they have an angry hero shot now, which by the way, going back to Cleo and Christian, I'm still so happy that we have not seen the return of the baby bump photo of their hero shot. They
Oh,
have
they
not
bump booties?
but no, where he's holding her stomach like she's pregnant and her hand
Oh.
for his.
I've got to study these hero shots more because I just go right past them. It's so
It is
funny.
so stupid, and it's, like, so I don't even know what it's like a prom photo gone bad, I don't know, like, pregnant on prom night, I don't know what they're going for, but they haven't had it for forever because they haven't been happy since the first episode. So, Statler and Dempsey have their angry hero shot. Statler has slept on the couch after the big fight the night before, the Valentine's Day bonfire gone terribly wrong. And Dempsey is spiraling about everything that transpired the night before. And Statler is talking to herself and she says, I'm so surprised that Dempsey thought we were moving too fast. How are you surprised when it's exactly what happened with your ex?
Yeah.
You were worried that she would think you were going too fast. Her dad told you you were going too fast. Her
Uh-huh.
best friend said you were going too fast.
Uh-huh.
And you're surprised now that she thought it was too fast.
Right.
I can't. And then the ex thing that she talked to her ex, she says, I wasn't hiding it. It just didn't come up, which is a classic. Yeah.
It's she gave TMI.
Yeah.
She gave TMI. She didn't have to tell all that. It
No.
wasn't valuable to the story.
So, or she should have told her at the beginning. She
Right.
should just, and also don't tell her that on that night.
I would have framed it, you won't believe what my ex said. This was
It was
crazy.
so inappropriate considering
Yeah.
I'm with you and in love with you.
Yeah.
Instead, it was like, yeah, she wanted me to go to the hotel with her. Yeah.
Mhm.
So she FaceTimes her friend Natalie with no E at the end. And was that the same friend that they went to that sex dessert shop with?
I would only be able to tell if Natalie was standing because she was very tall.
Okay. So her friend said, so wow, you really put everything out on the line, didn't you? You know, just telling her you love her would have been enough excitement for a Valentine's Day.
For one
Maybe
night. That's enough for one night, girl.
maybe don't tack on the moving there
Mhm.
and the moving in together and the ex conversation. And maybe by bringing up your ex, you made her feel less special, like you have other options. Like she
Mhm.
is merely the latest in the line of British girlfriends that you seem to have.
Yep.
And Natalie says, just live in the moment and put the serious stuff in the background. The therapist of Gino and Jasmine's advice has really gotten so much play on this season.
Yes, yes, yes.
Good for her. So Statler brings up, but my lease is up. That's why I'm like this. She never heard of Airbnb. I can't. Afraid
Again, not an insurmountable problem.
it's
There's
really
lots of
not.
ways to get around this. Lots
And
of
Natalie
ways.
said, "Is that worth scaring her off then? Because your lease is up?"
Yeah.
And Statler says, "I've just always wanted to love someone and have them love me unconditionally, and I want that life to start right away. Like, let's start the fairy tale. Let's move in together. Let's do it. Let's first date. Let's do it." And then we get Fox B-roll on the night vision cam, and I thought
Yeah,
it
I
was
loved
very
it.
cute. I loved it.
Yeah.
So Dempsey comes back from work and says, I just think we should enjoy our time and it's too soon to talk about moving in. And Statler mumbles, well, it's not too much for it's too much for you, maybe, but it's not too much for me. And I was like, are you coming at this conversation with attitude? Statler, you should be groveling right now. You should
Yeah.
listen to
Yeah.
what Natalie with no E said. And
Yeah.
instead you are immediately having attitude. Well,
Yeah.
it's not too
Yeah.
much for me, but maybe it's too much for you. So Statler says, I mean, I just want to feel like this is going somewhere. Are we going anywhere? I don't want to waste my time. Like, so now you're going to put this time clock, like, pressure on her. It's You've
Shh.
been together for just 7 months, which she seems to think is long enough to be proclaimed soulmates.
But not 7 months in person either.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So Dempsey says, well, oh, and Dempsey sometimes autocorrects to Dumpy, by the way. So, which he is not at all.
No.
Not at all.
Oh.
So Dempsey says relationships need time to develop, and Statler says, "We've been actually that's how it said stable. I don't know why I said stabler.
I'm not believing in your color notes.
I
I'm not
know.
believing in your color notes. They're
No, it
not doing you
happens
right.
on pages before I
Okay.
email it to myself.
Okay.
So Statler says, we've been talking for 7 months. And Dempsey says, "But you just got here 4 days ago. And in that 4 days, I found out that you cheated on someone in the past and that you've been talking to your ex and you were going to stay with her at a hotel." And Statler says, "But I didn't stay with her at a hotel. She asked, but I did not do that. So that's false." And Dempsey says, "But what else am I going to find out though? Like, I
Right.
have trust issues and you're triggering all of them."
Yeah.
And Statler says, "Nothing. There's nothing more to find out. I am here for you. You are my one and only. I just don't want to go home and like this might be the ADHD. I don't want to lose momentum.
Hmm.
I don't want to like go home and sit on the relationship and then it won't progress and we'll forget about each other and,
She wants to have the next step planned.
Exactly.
The next step is I'm coming back in a month. She doesn't want to go home without that next step planned. But go
Exactly.
ahead and plan your next step. Go ahead and move. Just you're not moving. You can't go home, but you can't come here, right?
Exactly.
Right.
So she says, "I just don't want to get hurt again. And I know no one wants to be hurt, but I feel like it hurts extra for me." And I felt really bad for her 'cause she's crying. I'm sure most of your listeners were rolling their eyes and hated her for quantifying or comparing her hurt to other people. I'm sure they are. But I still feel bad for her.
Well, I thought it was dumb until she sort of explained why.
Yeah, she says, "I'm adopted and I feel like I was rejected before I was even born." And then she doesn't go into the fact that because she's gay, she felt like she was never the daughter that they wanted when they picked her to adopt.
Mhm.
So then
Yeah.
she was rejected again by her adopted family.
Yeah.
So, or at least in her mind, she was. So she's like crying. She says, "Everyone gets love. What's wrong with me?" And Dempsey hugs her and Dempsey tells us, "I get the fact that she has always wanted this fairy tale. It's all she's ever dreamed of. She wants it to start right now, but
Yeah.
she has to take a step back and slow down." And Statler says, "Okay, I'm going to try to take it one day at a time. I know I can be a lot and I move really fast." And then she tells us, "So you think she gets it?" But then in her talking head, she goes, "I just feel like you should lead with your heart and not your brain. I'm still going full pedal to the metal. I just hope that Dempsey will change. She'll change her mind and she'll want me to move it." So
So I'm gonna
you've
plan to
learned
move there with
nothing.
with no place to go, and she'll have
Yeah,
to take me because I'll be homeless. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I will still get my way. She's just so stubborn, like refusing to listen to her partner's boundaries that her partner wants to set,
Yes.
all of
Yes.
her friends' advice, and she's just
Right.
still not willing to alter her behavior, even though this has happened before in a previous relationship. It's very frustrating.
I'm very surprised you didn't talk about the B-roll that was before the fox, which was or right after the fox perhaps, because I took a video of it, which is the statue of the boy with no nose
Oh my
facing
god, I
towards the
forgot to
caravan.
write it down. I forgot to write it down. Where's that boy's nose? Why don't they
Why is that statue
just have
facing the front door of the caravan?
so creepy. Can you imagine it like late at night and you step out to let the dog out or whatever and you just like, "Whoa, there's that boy again."
I
No
just think in
nose.
the morning, you like pull up the shades, you're like, ah, there he
What?
is.
Hi, where's your nose? Like
Where's your mom? Where's your
he
nose?
he
Yeah.
needs that doctor, the spinoff of Dr. Pimple Popper and that doctor who builds prosthetic noses and stuff.
Yes. 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 Yes.
I
Oh my
just say it's
gosh.
so close to the trailer and
Yeah.
facing the trailer. Like, it seems like a statue should face outward
It's
towards
like I can't tell if it was an optical illusion and it wasn't facing the trailer, like it's to the side of it. And
right.
maybe so if you're coming up to the front, it's in the backyard and you can
Yeah,
see it
yeah, maybe.
because they shot it from the side. But I was like, whoa, whoa, like twice. I was like, what's happening?
Is there significance to it? Is there some sort of cultural significance and we're just not understanding and we just
I
think
think
it's a
I'm gonna post it and then
creepy
tag
boy
Dempsey and see if
statue?
she'll tell me.
Yeah,
Maybe Dempsey will tell me.
yeah. Where's
Not if she hears that you called her Dumpy. Then
I think she's so cute. I think she's adorable. It's just my autocorrect.
I know, I know. All right, let's move on to Meisha and Nicola.
Oh my gosh.
So these two go fishing, and she's in a full business casual dress. This is what
Okay.
she's wearing on dress down day at the
Yeah.
office. Yeah. She is never not in a bodycon
Mhm.
business casual dress. She
Mhm.
is ready to go on air at any time.
Mhm. And she has that kind of smoking bod that would look good in athleisure wear and not like
Yes.
dumpy. Like, I look
Yes.
dumpsy when I go to the grocery store in my athleisure wear because
Yes.
it doesn't fit right. There's not like that snatch factor. But
Yes.
she probably has like tailored
Yeah.
athleisure wear that is fit to her curves.
I think we've seen her before in like workout leggings and a matching sports
Yes,
bra, and her
she jogged in her neighborhood. Yeah, you're
yeah,
right.
she's banking. So these two go fishing, and she's in business casual. And Nicola says the Lord Jesus himself was a fisherman, Misha.
We knew it.
So
The lobes and the fishes. Lobes and the fishes. I always
we
say
all know that you don't
lobes.
need. He's always schooling us on the Bible.
I know.
Okay. So they fight a bit about fishing, and she's like, "No, and you do this way." She's like, "Well, this is dumb. This is easy." I mean, she's kind of giving it to him. He's like, "You don't
Yeah.
understand, Misha. It's an art." And then so she falls in the water because they're fishing off at this big rock, and she just sort of scrapes her leg. He's like, "Oh my God, Misha, I've got to get you right away. I've got to get the bandage. Got to get the iodine." She's like, "Stop, I'm fine."
But did
He's
you
like, "No,
notice when he pulls her out how close his hands got to her boobs? Because he's
yeah,
lifting her out. That's the
yeah,
closest he's gotten to first base, second base in a while.
ever,
Ever,
ever."
ever.
And as he's trying to like get her to move and stuff, she's like, "Stop it! I'm a lifeguard. I got this. I'm fine. I know how to swim." I was like, "This has nothing to do with it. You're bleeding into the
Yeah.
ocean. That's where like sharks come." So he says, "This is the only time I've ever brought a woman fishing." And then he later says, "And this is the last time I will take Misha fishing." So they are moving to Minnesota, and there are a lot of lakes there. So
Yeah.
there are a lot of lakes there. So hopefully that'll
Yes.
make him happy. So they're sitting there, and she's like, he's patching up her leg or whatever. And she's like, "So we're gonna meet your mom tomorrow." And he goes, "Yes, Misha. I'm very nervous, Misha." And she goes, "Well, I'm excited, but I'm a little nervous because of my past and everything." And he goes, "Well, my mom will speak in Arabic, and she might say mean words."
Oh my gosh.
And he says, "My mom is 70 and can be difficult, and she's very set in her ways. And she's got a 46-year-old son living with her. She didn't expect to live out her golden years with this guy in the house, right?"
I think if I was Misha's or Nicola's mom and I had a son in my late 40s living in my basement who has no job and an unmonetized website and has a car filled with stuffed animal monkeys, I would be thrilled if he brought home Misha. Like, this is
Anybody,
anybody.
anybody,
Plus,
much
she's a
less
smoke
her,
show and has a job.
and loves being Catholic.
What could be better?
What could be
Divorce,
better?
schmorse.
So he says, "Misha is American, divorced, not a virgin, and I've hid her for 7 years. So this will be like an atomic bomb to my mom."
Yeah,
So he
that you
tells her
created.
that he created himself,
Yeah.
correct. So he tells her, "Yeah, I worry about telling my family, because they're going to crazy me, not you. And they'll be like, 'How can you marry this girl? She's not a virgin. It's not traditional. And I don't want to talk about you like not nice, but they're not going to like you.
Oh my
So I'll just protect you, but tomorrow is going to come.'" She's like, "Can't wait. Can't wait." So I love how because he said this exact phrase before to Misha one time, like, "Why are you doing crazy me?"
Yeah.
And so he's saying they're going to crazy me, not you. So it means they're
Mhm.
gonna go crazy on him. I just like that phrase. They're gonna crazy me.
He's
So
very doesn't like to be questioned. That's going crazy too. That's
right,
anything that's
right.
like asking simple questions is nagging or crazying you.
Yeah, don't go crazy
Yeah.
me. So Misha's getting ready, and she looks over at him. He's in his usual t-shirt and jeans, and she goes, "So Nicola, you're casual. So what should I wear?" And he goes, "Oh, Misha, like church, like church. You get dressed up." She goes, "Okay, but you're wearing that. Okay." So she puts things on the bed, and he goes, "I think you should wear this one." She goes, "I don't want to wear a black dress. Look like I'm going to a funeral." He goes, "Okay, Misha." So she pulls out a hot pink one. She's like, "This is like bright and sunny." And he goes, "Okay, Misha, let's just go ahead and get going because I want the day to be over with."
Also, he doesn't care what bubble sleeves are.
Because she's like, "You like this one with the bubble sleeves?" He's like, "That's great, Misha." She does pick that bubble sleeve. So he tells her it's like an alien coming to the earth, you visiting my
Mhm.
mom.
Mhm.
And one brother does know, the little knows, but the other one doesn't know. And my other brother and my mom, uh, my brother and my mom know you exist as a friend. My other brother doesn't even know you exist. And here you come into our living room. So it's going to be horrible. They're going to talk so bad about you. It's like, how about go in there with a positive attitude
No,
and approach it positively?
they are going to
So,
be rude AF.
oh, it's going to be awful. So he says, my family is expecting me to marry a virgin from the Holy Land, and I've never brought a woman home to meet my family. I know 100% I want to marry her, but it's going to be really hard when my family refuses to accept her.
You don't think your family is looking at your age and being like, the odds of him finding a virgin in
I
his
mean,
late 40s?
yeah, exactly.
We're gonna have to bend the rules a little.
Or, yes, it's gonna have to be an excuse this one time. So
Mhm.
they walk in and he hugs his mom, Nadia. And then Nadia hugs Meisha, and Meisha has flowers. She has chocolate. They talk about the chocolate. And he's like, Nicola, tell your mother it smells so good in here. And he goes, Mom, she said it smells like cooking in here. And she goes, ah, yes, Nadia, cook. Yes, yes. So then mom says,
The mom
talking
is
head,
wearing bubble sleeves, by the way.
oh, she was, you're right,
She should have been
black.
like, "Look at both of us have bubble sleeves on."
Oh. So mom says in her talking head, she says, Nicola has never brought a girl to the house, but she looks cute and friendly, but I have no idea why she's here. It's like, wow.
This is
Wow.
like Rishi and Jen. Who is this?
Yes.
Why are we being introduced to this awkward
Yes.
American woman?
You're exactly right. It is the same, except Jen had met the family before as a friend a couple of times.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And I think they're wondering, why does she never leave India? Why does she hang
Yeah.
around?
Mhm.
Isn't she from Oklahoma? So Nicola gets Misha some water and she goes, Nicola, can you please stay in here and translate for me? And he says, about what, Misha? About what? And she says, okay, Nicola, you need to explain who I am to you. Are your brothers coming? So mom sits there and she looks back and forth. She says, I'm going to prepare the Diwali, the vine leaves. And she goes, okay, Nika, let's go in there and watch and be supportive while she does the vine leaves. So they go and they watch. And she's like, beautiful, so pretty. She's so over the top with her.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great. It's lovely. It's so bonita. I don't know what she's saying.
Yeah.
And then the brothers come in. Their names are Andy. Is it Mickey or Mikey? I
I'm
wrote Mickey, but I thought they said Mikey. We'll call him Mickey.
sure.
Okay.
All I could pay attention to was bubble sleeves.
So mom brings a ton of food out, like to the coffee table,
A spread.
a spread. And Nicola says, once I explain to all of them who you are, who she is, it's all going to fall apart. And I'm thinking now, this was a bad idea. Like they're all sitting there now, and now he's thinking it's a bad idea. So she is saying, it's so nice to meet all of you, and thank you so much for having me in your home. This food is delicious. And the brother goes, so tell us about you. We don't know anything about you. Who are you? Why are you here? And she goes, okay. So Nicola, can you tell them and speak in Arabic so your mother can also understand? And he literally says, I don't want to, Misha. I don't want people to know about my private life.
Why are we there? What are we doing?
The brothers speak English, so they understood that, you know?
What a jerk. He won't even translate like the nice things that she's saying about cooking to the mom.
I,
Like he's being such a D.
he does not. What does he think is going to happen? He's going to move to the United States to be like, hey, mom, yesterday when I told you I was going to go fishing, instead I'm going to the United States. Bye.
Right.
So she looks at him and says, Nicola, why are you reacting this way? Why are you so mad and tense? And he says, it's because this is who I am, Misha. And
Yeah.
the brother goes, Nicola, from where do you know her? And it's like, dun, dun, dun. And that's it. And she's looking at him and looking back and forth. It's okay. So next time on Before the 90 Days, Christian and Cleo try on costumes, get wacky in a costume shop. And he says he has a present for her. Okay. Riley and Violet go on a boat ride. And he says, yeah, here's the thing. I do still have some insecurities. And I did call a private investigator. And I'm only telling you because you're going to see it on the reunion.
That is not the place to tell her on a moving speedboat.
She could not pick him up and throw him overboard.
Okay, that's true.
He's way too big.
Yeah.
So now David is looking for a ring, like an engagement ring, and he wants to pop the question, but her mom just died. So he doesn't know if it's appropriate, but then again, when will he get another chance? You won't. This is
No,
it. This is
do
your
it now.
chance.
She's fine with it. Do it.
Yeah, she wants it.
Yeah.
So Nicola tells the family that the reason Meisha has come to visit the Holy Land is to see him and hopefully get engaged. And then they translate, and then the brother goes, she was married, has 2 daughters, and sticks his fingers up like 2. She was married, she has 2 daughters. And the brother translate and tells the mom, who just does like a
Yeah.
face, like, what?
Yeah.
And I don't know if she's just like, because
Frightening
she's going back and forth, or she's
Right.
really like, ooh, gross,
Right. Divorced daughters.
Rosalind tells Amanda, who is such a stone cold ice queen.
Yeah.
She's dead behind the eyes. She really is.
Yeah.
She really is.
And I don't know if it was like that before her husband died, or if
I
this is
know.
a grieving process, or if she's always been like this.
I know. That's a great question. So
Apparently,
Rosalind tells
she
Amanda,
attacked someone with a bat when she was much younger.
what?
She has this arrest thing from a long time ago. I don't think it's totally fair to bring it up because it was so many years ago. She was like
Yeah.
19, but she and her boyfriend attacked this girl with a bat, and she's the one who did most of the assault, according to the like. Yeah, it was some sort of love triangle or rumors. It seems just like teen drama, but a bat.
But was it her husband's wife? Because he was married and she was about 19 or 20 when she met him.
That's the question.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Somebody reach out if they know the answer. Somebody get thee to the Reddit and let us know.
Yeah.
So Rosalind tells Amanda, I want you to think about what you really want. And she says, hey, I wanted to be the right person, but maybe we're just not right for each other. And he cries and says, it's not fair for you to do this to me. And she just squeaks out one tear and
Yep.
stares at him and then starts to work on the other eyebrow. Like, I don't know. Oh, boy.
Do they have fries here? Because apparently it was about fries, that fight that you sent me that thing. Yeah. The fight
Oh, yes.
the hotel.
Yes. That's what the fight was about. Yes, that's what the fight was about because they were trying to order room service and they couldn't get fries or something.
Yeah, and she was like, Jason would have gotten me fries in the middle of the night.
Jason would have figured that shit out. If I want fries, Jason would have found them.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we see Jasmine saying, okay, this is something I screenshot, record, and sent to Matt to ask him if he could understand what was said here because I didn't have closed captions and it wouldn't help because it's curse words. But Jasmine says, I should be the most important in Gino's life. And he says, yeah, after marriage, you would blank. He says something. And then she says, fuck marriage. I'm not filming anymore. You're a fucking idiot. And he says, no, you're a fucking idiot. And then she says, I'm going to go fuck my ex. I fucked him 1 month ago. And then he says, go fuck yourself. It's a lot of fuck, fuck, fuck. But I don't know what it was that he says right there. She says, I should be the most important in Gino's life. And he goes, yeah, after marriage, you would something. So I don't know. I don't know.
I thought he was just saying after marriage. And she was like, again, you're holding the green card, the marriage over me. But I must have missed a blank. There were so many blanks. I must have missed a blank.
It was, after marriage, beep. And then she says, fuck marriage. I kept watching it and kept watching it. And I too don't read lips. So I sent it to Matt and Jake. And I was like, do you know what this was? And they were like, we couldn't figure it out either. Somebody get on it. Super sleuths, lip readers. Somebody get on it.
One of those where it'll cut to her talking head and she'll be like, when he said that blood, and then she'll explain it to us.
Yeah. Well, either way, I still think she's in Michigan. So I don't know what all this is about.
Yeah. But
I
this
don't know
is the behavior that therapist said you really both need to work on. Jasmine needs to work on her anger and saying incredibly hurtful things. And for some reason, Gino needs to
not react
and lessen put water on the fire. That's his responsibility.
So she said something that made him mad. He said, after marriage, you would blank. And then she says, fuck. And then she says, you're an idiot. And he says, no, you're an idiot. And then I'm going to fuck Max. And he's like, no, I'm going to. So no, I don't think she fucked Dane 1 month ago. But if she did, good for her. Go girl.
She's just lying
She's lying.
to make him, jealous.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so.
Well, guys, that's the end of our episode. I hope everyone has had a happy Tuesday wherever you are. Yeah. Thanks. Hope everyone's had a happy Tuesday where you are. I hope if your kids got off to school that it was successful. If you're lucky enough to have kids start in September, count your lucky stars. This August situation's rough. And if you're in Denver, let me
Aren't
know.
moms just like wanting to get rid of their children?
Yes, but then do you remember you have to wake up really early and pack those
Oh,
lunches?
right. That's true.
It's the waking up early and packing the lunches
Yeah,
that's
I
the
don't want to do
problem.
that.
No, no, no. Nobody does.
No.
Nobody does.
Mm.
But lucky for me, my husband likes to wake up early and he likes to pack my son's lunch.
I love it.
So lots of times I don't have to do it,
I
which
love that.
is really great. And then one day I'll be sorry that it's gone, but probably not because school starts at 8 a.m. and that's real early.
Oh, that's no.
Everybody make sure you follow Kimberly and Katie over on A Date with Dateline. And if you want more of Kimberly and Katie, I'm covering 90 Day UK with Katie over on Supercast and Patreon on the $10 level. And over on the $5 Supercast and Patreon level, I'm covering Temptation Island and 90 Day the Other Way with Amy Archer. On Mondays, right here on this free feed, I'm covering Love During Lockup with Keisha of the Libra Lounge with Keisha. And on Thursdays, we're doing Barely Bravo, Shades of Bravo. I had a wonderful bunkie reach out that said, why don't you use the word bunkie like Bravo Bunkies or Bunkie Bravo? I was like, good, I got to workshop that. Still can't come up with a name for Thursday. But this coming week, what I will have in that spot is an interview with Jonathan Walton and Emily D. Baker about the podcast Queen of the Con.
Oh, lovely.
So that would be in that spot because I'll be in
a lawyer?
air. Emily is a lawyer.
Yeah, Katie loves her.
Yes, Emily D. Baker. Just anything you want to know about any case.
Yeah.
She said she just did an hour on Lizzo. I was like, oh, that I need to listen to. Yeah, she covers, Murdaugh and everything that's like in the news, but then she covers like these celebrity ones, and then she always covers all the Bravo stuff.
Oh, I love it.
She says lately she's been trying to do a deep dive onto Louis, Teresa's new husband. She just hadn't had time to deep dive it as much as she wants to, but she's going to get back with us on an episode about that.
Oh.
Allegedly. Everybody follow us on Instagram at Pink Shade Pod, and please follow Kimberly and Katie at Dateline. And if you like this podcast, please give us a 5-star review. Do that for all the podcasts that you like.
Yes. Don't
it actually
crazy at us. Just, I don't think I used that right.
You say, don't crazy me.
Don't crazy me. Just give us 5 stars.
All right. Thank you. Ads not read by me, Mary Payne, don't necessarily reflect the views of Pink Shade. If you'd like to listen to ad-free, you're going to go on over to Supercast or Patreon, and you can find the links to Pink Shade Prime at pinkshadepodcast.com.